Welcome back. This is the 17th segment out of 63 of the series Because It's True, making the case for Christianity in bite-sized pieces. We're working from an apologetic model that has three prongs to it. The first of which is labeled philosophical. In other words, what might we reasonably expect an individual to reasonably conclude concerning the existence of God based solely upon that which is observable in the world around us? Now, with this, we began to address the teleological argument, or the argument from design. And we did so on something of a macro level, looking at those variables that have to remain constant if human life is to be sustained on Earth. But we can also look at the teleological argument on a more micro level. And the best place probably for that is the human eye. Now, let me give you a heads up at this point. And that is that natural selection, this is the term that is used by Darwinian evolutionists concerning the process that they believe brought us to where we are today. And this is a process without God. It is chance plus time plus progress. And natural selection, it has a difficult time accounting for the human eye. Charles Darwin recognized this early on when he wrote a friend of his and said, "The eye to this day gives me a cold shudder." So, we look at the human eye and we look at just one component of the human eye, that being the tiny retina. And what has been discovered is that it has 130 million receptor cells, 124 million of which are rod-shaped and enable us to differentiate between light and darkness. 6 million of those receptor cells are cone-shaped and can identify up to 8 million variations of color. It is this complexity of the human eye that causes problems for evolutionary theory, because the evolutionary theory is a biological system that says that something like the eye had to develop over millions of years, but it never would have worked until it was fully developed. You see, a partial eye is no good at all. 5% of an eye will not give you 5% vision. It will give you no vision at all. And still, when all of these complex components come together, it can do nothing until it is then attached to the amazingly complex set of nerve cells in the brain. Now, some maintain that this has occurred over time as a result of a random purposeless process. And I've got to tell you, I simply do not have enough faith to accept that. Rather, I tend to agree with the person who suggested that examination of the eye is a cure for atheism.